Hey guys, it's beach night. We'll see you on the beach in a few moments. Hope you got your beach attire on. Hope you got the things that you love to eat, drink, do at the beach. You've got those kind of things. Bringing them with you. Anything that symbolizes beach for you. Any great beach stories you have, bring them all. I've got my beach stuff around me. Addie's favorite mermaid painting she made. I've got all the stuff and I'm ready to go. Here's the deal. Because we're going to be hanging out in a few moments, I'm not going to do a long thing. Just a handful of minutes to kind of let you know where we're going. And first, I'm going to start because here's the bummer. There's not a great beach. It's hot. There's not a great beach story in Holy Week. So I'm going to fast forward post-resurrection to a great Jesus beach story. This is after Jesus has been crucified, dead, buried, and raised from the dead. And this is in John 21, 1 through 14. And the disciples are out fishing. And they're not catching anything, and they hear a voice that says, hey, why don't you cast your net on the right side of the boat? So they do this, and they catch this huge net of fish, 153 to be exact, and they bring it over towards the shore, and Jesus is like, come on, I'm cooking up breakfast, getting it ready to cook. And Peter recognizes it's Jesus, swan dives out of the boat, butterflies to the shore, and they have this great Waffle House Jesus moment. Jesus has this huge breakfast. It's like Shoney's breakfast bar buffet, and they're hanging out, and all things are good because it was Friday. That great sermon, it's Friday, but Sunday's coming. It was Friday for them. It seemed like all hope was lost. Jesus was on the cross. It was done. Story over. Song ended. It was done. No hope. But now it's Sunday. Sunday has come, and Jesus is there, and they are back at the beach. And I know you want to get back to the beach. I know many of you literally, practically are like, man, I want to be at the beach. Some of you were already supposed to have went. And it feels hopeless for a lot of us during this time of our own kind of week of struggles where we're in this coronavirus thing, and it seems for a lot of people like all hope is lost, like it's dark, like the song isn't playing anymore. Will we ever get there? Will we ever get to the beach, literally and metaphorically? And the good news is it's Friday, but Sunday's coming. Yes, you too will again go surfing on the waves and make some sandcastles and hang out at the beach. It's going to happen. But before it does, before Easter comes, we always have to walk through Holy Week with Jesus. We have to experience his struggle and his pain and what he went through. And that's why I think maybe this year more than ever, we can really identify with Jesus during Holy Week, because that is a little bit of our life right now. Not to that extent, but we are struggling. We are wanting to get on the other side of this. And so let's go in reverse to Holy Week. This is Tuesday of Holy Week, and Jesus is in Jerusalem in the temple area. And this comes out of John 12, 20 through 36. And I'm just going to read a few verses from 20. What happens is some Greeks are in town, and they'd come to worship, and they ask Philip, one of Jesus' disciples, sir, we want to see Jesus. Can you help us? And Philip gets Andrew. They both go find Jesus. And then Jesus says, here, tell him this. The time's up. It has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. And then Jesus says this crazy cool little verse. He says, listen carefully. Unless a grain, a seed, goes into the ground, is buried there, dead to the world, it is never any more than just a grain of wheat. But if it's buried, it sprouts and reproduces itself many times over. In the same way, anyone who holds on to life, just as it is, destroys that life. But if you let it go, reckless in your love, you'll have it forever, real and eternal. So obviously Jesus is talking about what's getting ready to happen. Unless a seed goes to the ground, it's just that. But if it's buried, it becomes something beautiful. He's getting ready to go to the ground. He is getting ready to go to be planted like that seed. And he's saying, but then something beautiful is going to come out of that. If you just hold on to life the way it is, the way things are, the status quo, it's going to be just that, and it'll erode and be no good. But he says, if it's put in the ground, if it dies, then it resurrects and comes to life in something much more than it ever was, more than we could have ever dreamed. So Jesus is telling them what's getting ready to happen. I'm going to be killed and buried. I'm going to die. I'm going into the ground. But that's going to bring something so much more beautiful, the mystery of resurrection, something so much more incredible. And he's telling them, it's that way with your life. Unless you're willing to bury these things that seem normal in our lives, that seem our human nature, the ways we live, the ways we see the world, the way we treat people, unless we're willing to bury those things, then it's not going to go anywhere. But he's saying, if you're willing to bury that stuff, if you're willing to let your life go, in other words, if we're willing to let go of control, trying to control things, thinking we have all the answers, treating people not the way we'd want them to treat us, but, operating out of revenge or unforgiveness or jealousy or competition or whatever. Jesus is saying, bury it. If you bury it, you're going to, if you die to that stuff, let it go, then something new is going to come. Reckless love. You'll have this abandon to live for God and to experience life, and the resurrection is going to be so much better. Beach day will be incredible like you've never experienced it before. And so that's what I want us to talk about some tonight. I want us to think about during this Holy Week as we walk through Jesus, where he is going to bury himself and then resurrect into this new great wonder. What is it that we need to bury? Before we get to the beach, what is it that we need to set down? What are the things that we know are not healthy and that are not good for us or good for others? What are the things that we need to put in the ground, that we need to bury? And if we're willing to do that, then something new and beautiful is going to come up out of the ground. It's going to bloom. And when beach day comes, when Sunday comes, it'll be new and incredible. So right now it's Friday. So let's take this opportunity along with Jesus. Let's listen to his words and say, it's Friday. Let's bury what needs to be buried. And then when Sunday comes, when beach day gets here, we are going to experience life like we never have. It's going to be new. It's going to be incredible. It's going to expand us in ways that we never thought could happen. So it's Friday, but Sunday's coming. We're locked in a house, but the ocean is on its way. You're going to hear these sounds again live. You're going to be putting on the sunscreen. You're going to be back at the beach. But right now, this is where we're at. So let's think about the things while we're here and have time to think about it and do it. As we approach Good Friday when Jesus is buried, what is it that along with him we need to be buried? And then we can count on it. Jesus told us so, that it's going to be new and beautiful after that. Maybe some of you even want to get a seed or a flower or a tree, or maybe you already have that at your house. Ask your parents, and let's plant it. Maybe tomorrow, let's go out and put the seed in the ground and be a visible, physical reminder of, it's Friday, but Sunday's coming. What do we need to put in the ground so that it can flourish in ways we never imagined? See y'all in a few minutes. Thank you all, and we'll hang out and talk about this stuff. Get that beach gear on. See ya.